Good morning, everybody. Wake up in Provincetown. This week featuring Can I have some coffee? Make it strong, please. Hey. No. Good morning. Hey. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, February 5th. I feel like everyone's this month. It's February in Provincetown, which means you only have 2 months left of planning. Yeah, that's the March 28th.
It's kind of great though.
I like for the winter to take its time.
I have weird feelings about winter because as much as I love kind of staying home and everything, it also as much as I love staying home, it stresses me out staying home. I feel like there should be things that I'm doing.
There are.
What?
Working on this.
Yeah, I'm doing that. What do you think?
Taking care of yourself. Remember self-care. Remember my New Year's resolution.
I did do a face mask last night.
You did?
Yeah.
What else are you doing for your self-care regimen?
Drinking water.
Okay.
I went for a jog yesterday.
Good, now we're getting somewhere.
I did go for a jog yesterday. I live right off of Claps Ponds Trail, so I like to jog that because I'm getting old and my knees aren't what they used to be, so I can't really run on the pavement. But so I was jogging around Claps Pond, and I got to this point where there was a sharp turn in the trail, and all of a sudden this dog comes around the corner, and I'm like, oh, because that happens a lot. People do off-leash dogs. I do it with Brewski, and so I assumed it was just a dog who was a little ahead of its owner because they got excited someone was up ahead. And then I realized that it is not a dog. It was a gigantic coyote.
Running at you?
Yeah, the size of a German Shepherd. On the same trail running towards me. It was the size of a German Shepherd, no lie.
A baby German Shepherd.
Yeah. But so it comes around the corner and I stop, it stops, we're both staring at each other. I don't know what to do. I'm like, is this how it ends?
It's deciding if you're food.
I'm like, is this how I become a P-Town legend? The guy who got eaten by a coyote on Shankpainter Trail.
What did you do?
I mean, not Shankpainter Trail,
Claps Pond. What happened?
I stopped and started yelling. And just being a horrifying big animal myself, it got scared and ran off.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a harrowing experience.
Yeah, I mean, having a coyote 25 feet away from you, as much as I grew up in the middle of the woods, I know 99% of animals, they don't want to fight you, they don't want to eat you, they're terrified of you and they want to run away. It was still spooky. And then I stopped for a minute, kind of waited, I saw it kind of run off into the woods, and then I turned the corner and there was this woman with 2 dogs who was like, oh my God, did you see that coyote? She's like, it's been following me for 20 minutes.
It wants the dogs.
Yeah, one of them was little, but I'm like, you're a person with 2 dogs, you're fine.
Right.
I'm helpless and alone.
I mean, this is one of those situations in town where there's 2 sides of this argument. There's people being like, they're scary, they're not native to here. And there's other people that are like, it's nature, just leave them alone.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the funicular situation. People
are arguing that the funicular is natural.
Yes. Well, there's the fun-icular people and the fun-ick-ular people. Which side of that argument do you rest on? Fun or ick?
I'm gonna go with fun.
Yeah?
Because I think the monument's incredible. And so I've lived here since 2016. The first time I went...
You've lived here long enough to know.
You're right. This is the thing. So the first time I went up there, it's one of those things I'm like, oh, when I have someone who visits me who wants to go, that's when I'll go.
Right.
And the first time that happened was my parents came to visit last spring. Not this past one, the one before. And I was like, oh, I'll take them to the monument. And we went and it was loads of fun. But I realized on my way, I was like, I don't know how to get to the monument. I see it all the time, but I didn't really know where it was situated because I never go up the hill across Bradford. And now I think it's going to provide a really incredible way for a lot of people to get there and see the monument, and I think that's good. I'm not really seeing the downside, but I think you're going to tell me.
I'm not on the ick side.
Oh, that's fine. But what are the ick people saying?
The ick people are just saying, ick, what an eyesore, and also what happens when it goes into disrepair, and what happens when it falls over because something wasn't planned right and somebody dies and is crushed by what do you call the carriage of a funicular? a carriage, the trolley, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that thing. I mean, listen, I'm not an engineer, but don't
I mean,
you drive
also,
by it and
what
you look at
happened-
that hill and you're like,
Sure, but like, what happens when a restaurant falls into the water? Like, if we're all thinking of like worst case scenario, you'll
That's
see it
never
everywhere. Do you know what
gonna
I mean?
happen.
Right. I also
never
think.
gonna happen.
I also hope that the people in charge and the powers that be decided to like make sure it worked and not fall over.
I want that too. And I do hope for and believe that that will be the case.
I don't know that that's the case, but I'm gonna assume.
It's private property is the bottom line, so those people can do whatever they want. The people paying for it. It's not town money or anything like that. Yeah.
Is it the monument people?
Yes.
Is the monument private property?
Yeah.
Interesting. Who owns it?
We'll tell you next week.
There's like a person
If
who
you
owns
know
the
who
monument.
owns the monument,
Yeah, please
you can
comment.
put it in the comments right now. You know who knows is probably Cooper's roommate.
Oh yeah.
That guy worked at the monument for 10 years.
Let's call Hat Sister Tim. See if he knows.
You want to call him right now?
No.
Is it his birthday?
No, it's not his birthday.
You know whose birthday it is?
Whose?
Or when are we doing our birthday call?
Let's do it right now.
Okay. It's everybody's favorite oysterman, Ted Cormay.
No way.
Yeah, remember the little clip Eric did with Ted
Yeah,
Cormay?
that
The
was so
very
cute.
first Eric Borg Dirty Jobs was with Ted Cormay in the oyster flats. Ted did have a devastating loss this week. Because of that storm, some of his oyster beds and
Right.
stuff shattered up against the breakwater.
I guess we can ask how the search is going.
Yeah. So, Ted loves oysters more than anybody that I know. Do you like oysters?
Yeah.
But he's one of the major proponents of Provincetown oysters specifically because
that's
even though
great.
it's the same animal as a Wellfleet oyster, the water that they're raised in turns it into a completely different flavor profile. Ted's not there, so
Bummer.
we are 4 for 13.
That's okay.
Happy birthday, Ted Cormay. I hope you recover all of your equipment as soon and safely as possible.
I think the last update I got is they found a lot of bags of oysters, but not necessarily enough of his equipment.
Oh,
That's a huge bummer.
that is a huge bummer.
And probably a setback to Provincetown oysters. I know they were thinking sometime soon they'd be a large enough supply that more restaurants in town could carry them. I know the Canteen, I think, is one of the only places in town that carries Provincetown oysters, but it's great to carry oysters that are like from.
Right.
I mean, my favorite thing to do at the Ren is when people ask where they're from, I like point and I'm like, right there, to Wellfleet.
Well, people are like, you must love oysters. You live in P-Town and you work at the Red Inn. And I'm like, I only eat Wellfleet oysters in Wellfleet. This is kind of far.
So bougie.
It's really far for me.
Yeah, we're so lucky we like live in like the best place in the world to have oysters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the best place for a lot of things.
Do you like West Coast oysters at all?
I really don't like oysters. Like,
Oh.
I'll eat Wellfleet ones like ceremonially, like at a wedding, or if I'm at the Beachcomber, I'll have like 2.
Yeah, I definitely think the like the ritual of it all is better than the taste. I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like anything that you have to smother in ketchup and cocktail sauce.
don't have to.
I know, but it's like, like once you do all that to it, it's like, what's the point?
I put like a tiny dab of mignonette, and they're delicious.
You can have your oysters. I'll take my little necks.
Great, I'll have yours.
Okay. You guys, we did say last week that we were going to have Representative Sarah Peak on the show this morning. Unfortunately, she is so busy right now, but she is going to be here in exactly 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the last day where you can introduce bills. So she's going to talk about all the bills that have been introduced, the ones she's really excited about. So we're really excited to have her.
And we have a lot of questions for her. But I do know for a fact that she's currently working her tail off trying to help people iron out unemployment issues. I have a very close friend of mine who was kicked off 4 or 5 months ago and has been waiting. There are a lot of people in town who haven't had a check in months.
Right.
And she's literally in her office calling, doing everything she can to fix people's problems. My friend was like, she called me herself. Her office called my phone 10 minutes after I sent them an email. And I'm like,
great.
that's the kind of local representative that you want.
Totally.
Fighting for your interests and working really hard for you every day.
A lot of people are having a hard time because the Provincetown community specifically, a lot of people work all summer and then rely on their unemployment in the winter to make ends meet. And I don't know if people know, but your unemployment is based on the last 2 quarters in which you've worked. So a lot of people worked their busy summer in 2019, used their unemployment through the winter, and then lost employment, made a lot less money this past summer. So then when they went to go reapply for their unemployment for this winter, had drastically smaller payments. So on top of having a less financially successful summer, they're now, what they used to rely on for their winter is also much smaller.
It's hard out here.
Yeah. write your senator and Congress people to approve survival checks.
If you have
That's
a
great
serious
idea.
question for Representative Peake, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll scroll through them later, and we'll get a chance to talk to her in 2 weeks.
Yeah, also always feel free to message us on Facebook or Instagram or on YouTube. Can you message people on YouTube? Trevor?
Yes,
Great,
you
message us
can.
on YouTube.
You can message us in a variety of ways.
Right, and let us know any questions you have for any of our guests that are coming up.
Oh, speaking of news, local big news, the vaccine rollout. Did you read the paper yesterday?
I did.
So I didn't realize that
The Independent, right?
Yeah. That they're starting phase 2 before they're done with phase 1. And so there are people at the bottom of phase 1 who didn't get their first dose. People are really, really mad at the governor right now. This poor guy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, I feel like it's probably hard to do a good job in a position of leadership like that, right? Like, you're not going to make everybody happy. And
Right.
you're probably going to piss off most people. But I'm still wondering when our phase is going to start. I will say this. My personal health care provider told me months ago, he was like, everybody in town that wants one will be able to have one by like April or May. And because he said it so long ago, I was like, that even though it is sort of far away still, it gave me comfort knowing that it is coming. It's only February 5th.
And we'll also have the potential as restaurant employees to get it before we're making cocktails for hundreds of people, interacting with maskless people
Right.
over and over again.
But I think the main concern that was expressed in that article was people over 75 in Barnstable County. Apparently that makes up 14% of our population. 29,000 is only 14% of
I
our
think the average age of the Outer Cape is like, I had a job last summer and I had to do some research about the populace of the Outer Cape, and I think the average age in the Outer Cape is like 70, which is extremely high. There was a business that offered a senior discount and they had to stop doing it because like 80% of the people who were applying were seniors.
Aw.
Yeah, and they were just, not that they were losing too much money, but it was like, this was
Right.
not the plan.
Which business was it?
I don't want to say.
Oh.
Well, it's just I don't want their business.
Like
out
the
there.
new senior discount is 90 and above.
Right, exactly, and it's still 20%.
No, but there are a lot of elderly people here, and apparently based on the amount of vaccine that's being sent to the Cape, we're getting about 1,000 a week,
Right.
and for 29,000 people. And it said that the clinics where it's being made available, let's say this clinic has 600 appointments, the minute it goes live where you can call and make an appointment, it sells. It's like Taylor Swift concert tickets. It's like sells out in 5 minutes.
Right.
People are mad that they can't get an appointment.
Well, it's weird. I've heard some places are like that here, and then there are other places where they're like, "Please call."
Right.
We're not getting people booked fast enough.
Right.
But I do think one of the issues that may have happened in the vaccine rollout in Massachusetts, and I might be wrong in this, but I'm fairly certain that the governor did choose to hire companies to deal with the vaccine rollout rather than our public health infrastructure.
Oh.
And I like you said, your healthcare providers told you this months ago. That's when they probably thought that they were going to be in charge of this.
Right.
And now it's like CVS and Stop and Shop that's in charge of the vaccine rollout. And I may be wrong in all that, but I think I'm right.
I just wish that we could call and make an appointment for, let's say we're phase 3 or 4 or whatever. Like if day 1 for us is April 15th, why can't I make that appointment now?
I think it's just one of those things where they don't know. Everything is so day to day and things are changing so quickly, they have no idea what's going to happen in 2 months.
Maybe 2 weeks from now, Representative Sarah Peake will know a little more than we know now.
Perfect.
I do want to ask her about the vaccine rollout.
Yeah.
What else did you do this week?
That's it.
That's it? You
Oh, wait.
almost got eaten by a coyote.
Yeah, and that's it. That was my week. Big news. Something fun happened. I know I always talk about Drag Race on here, and specifically Drag Race UK, which I'm loving. But they aired a new episode yesterday, and the challenge was a morning talk show. They had to do their own morning talk show.
How did it go?
It was cute.
Yeah?
But if next time you need guest judges, feel free to call your favorite queer morning talk show host in the world.
Us.
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think I was talking about?
Whoa, Ellen?
Who?
DeGeneres.
Ellen DeGeneres. I've heard of her, I guess.
Did you get any good ideas for bits or segments or anything like that?
I don't think they were going for realness.
Oh.
So unless we want to make a goth cake or something like that, which was something they did. Yeah.
You know what I did this week?
Oh, one more thing about that. The episode, so as the show was happening, I'm watching and I'm like, that's weird. They're like, because the U.S. version of Drag Race RuPaul is like separate from all of them. When they do, when he's in the workroom, they have a table between them that's like 10 feet long for distancing. And I noticed last night he was doing the usual walk around and saying hi to everyone at their table, and I was like, that's weird. When was this filmed? Then at the end of the episode, they all go back into the workroom, and RuPaul comes on the camera and is like, there's a pandemic happening. We're stopping the show. Everyone's going home.
Really?
Yeah.
So it ended?
I don't know. I mean, I looked it up. And Reddit told me that they sent them all home for months and then brought them all back once they figured out how to do it with coronavirus safety things in place.
Good.
Thank you, Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. But I did read that some of the queens came back and severely upgraded their drag. So that's exciting.
That's that's good for them.
It's good for them, and it's also good for the viewer. I don't as much as it makes good TV to have people be terrible and people be amazing, I'd rather see 10 fierce, amazing, incredible looks walk down the runway than some piece of fabric they wrapped around their waist. Mm-hmm. Which, it's just because it's on TV. I'm here for anything a drag queen does in real life, as long as I'm entertained.
You are?
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Well, listen, first, before I get into what I did this week, I want to talk about a movie that I watched this week. Have you seen the Trial of the Chicago 7?
I haven't.
I do think that it is a very important film for the day, for literal today, and everything that I'm about to tell you about this movie is true.
You say that every time. And then I'm like, wait a second.
If you don't know about the Chicago 7, these were 7 protesters of the Vietnam War who traveled to Chicago in the late 60s to protest at the Democratic National Convention.
So true story.
True story. It is based on a true story. And a riot broke out. A lot of people were hurt. And this movie was made in September, or it was released in September. And I just think it's so fast. I was sitting there watching it last night, and I'm like, this is such a mirror of what happened in the nation's capital on January 6th, only like a complete inverse, like a mirror reflection of what happened. It was liberals traveling to Chicago to protest the Vietnam War instead of conspiracy theorists traveling to DC to protest the election.
Not quite the same, but
no.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I could see how somebody might try to like draw a parallel, you know, in one of those like false equivalency ways.
But did they all go to jail?
Well, you'll have to watch to find out. But also, this is the part that's true. The lawyers of the case, the defense lawyers, were named Kunstler and Weinglass. That's not a joke. Doesn't that Kunstler and Weinglass? And every time they said it, I was like, is that a joke? Kunstler and Weinglass?
They're doing a true story, but they figured they'd throw in a pun with the lawyers' names.
I just feel like that would be like the perfect name for a Provincetown law office.
Kunstler and Weinglass.
Yeah. And then in the front lobby, while you're talking to the receptionist, there's like wine glasses that you can buy.
The receptionist is just like swirling a big glass of red wine.
It's a very polished law firm.
Yeah, I was trying to think of wine puns when you didn't come out with
no, but it's pretty good. Sacha Baron Cohen is one of the 2 leads. It's him and Eddie Redmayne.
I actually heard about it for the first time. I love movies and stuff, but I'm not like connected as much as you are. You really pay attention. But I heard about it for the first time when he got nominated for a Golden Globe for his performance.
The movie is up for 5 Golden Globes. Best Picture. We can talk about awards shows in a second, but it's definitely one of the most. Even though Sacha Baron Cohen's character is one of the jokier people in the movie, it's one of the more serious things that he's done. He's great in it. Eddie Redmayne is predictably very good in it as well. It's written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. It's so Sorkin-y. You know, Aaron Sorkin wrote A Few Good Men. So it's very like trial, court.
He's good at
I
that.
object. Yeah, he's the best at that. I would say Aaron
object.
Sorkin is the best at that type of drama. So watch it if you have the stomach for something that happened 50 years ago but feels very, very current. And it's crazy how things really don't change all that much in America. They don't.
Bummer. Yeah. Let's talk about the Golden Globes, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone's mad.
Who's everyone?
There were so many snubs that happened. I know, what was the, one sec, let me pull up. Michaela Cole's I May Destroy You was shut out, which was surprising, and everyone's kind of comparing it to Emily in Paris being nominated.
What is I Will Destroy You?
It was a movie about a woman who experiences a rape and how she right and how she deals with it, and it was very serious. It's people have been loving it. It's been reviewed, and everyone says it's incredible, very poignant. And then they're comparing it to Emily in Paris because everyone hated it when it came out. Everyone laughed at it. Yeah. That got nominated. I just think we should stop taking the Golden Globes seriously because
when did
they're
you
not
start?
taking themselves seriously. Right, but it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's the award show we should be looking to for what's really great.
If you don't know, the Golden Globes are selected by a press corps called the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. It's about 90 journalists that report on Hollywood activities from all over. And so it's not even, every other award show is voted on by your peers. It's actors voting on acting performances. This is the one exception, and I think they get a lot of coverage because they're the first one of the year.
Right.
And they love to nominate something that's fresh and new to them, But it's not. I don't think it's that serious.
Right. But the SAG Awards came out right after that, and I think it's.
Did she get nominated for a SAG Award?
Yes, everyone is very excited about the SAG Awards because, like you said, they're voted on by peers. So I would feel much better getting nominated by my fellow actors.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, the Golden Globes award show, everybody's sloshed at it.
Great.
So I think if you live in Hollywood, everybody's having fun at it,
right?
And the speeches can go kind of off the rails. And Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are hosting this year. That's why I'm going to watch it.
Oh, that's exciting.
Because they're bringing them back to host it, and I love the two of them so much.
It's going to be a weird virtual thing, right?
Probably so.
I think the SAG Awards had to get pushed back because of coronavirus, and then the Grammys pushed back theirs and chose the same day.
Oh, really?
Like, what a dick. But so the SAG Awards are going to reschedule once again.
Damn it, Grammys.
Yeah, not great.
Wow. Oh, you know what else in local news that I want to mention? The Muse opened back up.
No way.
They opened on Thursday, yesterday, for takeout this weekend, and starting next weekend, they're reinstating indoor dining.
Let's go.
And it's just Thursday through Saturday right now, except for next weekend, which is Valentine's Day weekend.
Cute.
So they're going to be open Thursday through Monday, because Monday is also a holiday.
Who's going to be your Valentine?
I don't want to say because Peter's watching.
Wow, that's not what I expected.
I'm obviously joking.
I don't have a Valentine. If you want to be mine, put a heart in the comments. What else did you do this week?
Oh, I did do something big and fun this week. I took a little road trip, a COVID-responsible road trip to Maine. I went to Boothbay Harbor, Maine.
Cute. You just check
tested
into an
before,
Airbnb
tested after.
Not see anyone kind of thing?
Rented, well, I would call it a cabin in the woods, but it was this giant house in the woods in Maine, and cooked and made chili, made bouillabaisse.
Cute. Just get out for a minute.
Yeah, and did the things that we would have done here, but somewhere else, like hiking in the woods, and it snowed. All I wanted, I was like, please let it snow in Maine, and it be covering everything so I can get some cute pictures.
2 feet?
No, it drifted as high as a foot, but it was mostly 4 or 5 inches. But everywhere. But when you're walking, it was up to here.
Squinchy.
Yeah, that great feeling. And there was this big, it looked like a Catskills resort right around the corner from our house, with a tennis court and all these little cottages, and so it was obviously closed. Everything was closed. Nobody was out. There was nobody there. We're walking through there while it was snowing. It was super cute. So I took some pictures and I made a little video. I wanted to show everybody. One of the best things about living in New England in the winter is traveling to other cute little New England locations. This is a little snapshot of Boothbay Harbor, Maine.
Cute.
It's so peaceful. It was such a peaceful, serene respite. And I did, just to be on the safe side, I called the Chamber of Commerce before we left.
Here or there?
There.
Okay.
Because I was like, I want to know if it's safe to come, if the locals are going to be out with pitchforks. I live in a seaside village where
the locals are out with
where people are not
pitchforks.
necessarily nice to somebody trying to get a quiet little getaway for a couple of days. And she was so nice and so helpful. And she actually didn't answer the phone. And I was like, maybe the chamber's closed for the day. And like 6 hours later, I got a call from a random number in Maine. And she was like, hey, it's Lisa from the Booth Bay Chamber of Commerce. I saw that you called. And I didn't leave a message.
Weird.
She just saw that, like, probably the only call
seemed
she'd
bored.
gotten in like a week and was like, I better call this person back and try to get them to come. So thank you to Lisa at the Booth Bay Chamber of Commerce for encouraging us to come to your gorgeous little town.
Safely.
Safely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so this past week, the entirety of New England got so much snow, except for us. I loved watching the map. It was just like all snow, and then like the end of the Cape was gray because it wasn't getting any snow.
A lot of rain?
Yeah, it was a bit of a bummer because on Tuesday we were expected to get this big snowstorm along with everyone else, and then that morning I woke up and it was raining, and I looked at the weather and that's what happened. I'm one of those people who I love the day it snows and then I hate it after that. But I was hoping for a little bit of snow. I want to get a bit of snow so I can go sledding on the dunes.
That's fun. Dangerous. I'm now like that grandmother that's like, you're going to hurt your knee. If you go sledding over there on Snail Road, you're going to hurt your leg.
I hear ya. But it might snow on Sunday. It's
Really?
geared up, yeah. It's geared up for rain/snow. High of 36, low of 25. So I think wherever that ends up will be dependent on whether we get rain or snow. But I do have a feeling it's going to be in Provincetown tradition. I'll wake up that morning and it'll be raining. But we might get a little rain today. Tomorrow is going to be in the 30s and sunny. It's not going to be as cold as it was last weekend, which was a little torturous. It warmed up just in time to ruin that snow day for me, and has stayed warm-ish after last weekend, which was torturous.
It's going to dip down into the 20s at the end of this week, right? Is that possible?
I'm not sure.
I think so.
I only got the next 3 days in front of me.
That's all that really matters because it changes anyway so much here.
But this weekend will be not torturous. How are the tides?
The tides are actually very conducive to one of your last 2 months of clamming. Low tide today is at 11:18. It might be raining right then.
Yeah, put on your rain slicker.
Yeah, put on a slicka. And on Sunday, low tide's at 1:25, and it's not supposed to rain, but
that's
who
great.
knows?
Well, Sunday is rain/snow.
I thought you said Saturday.
Yeah, so if you want to brave the weather, it is great days for clamming. I think clamming in the
Brave it.
in the snow would be beautiful though.
Let's start calling a sunny, snowy day snun. It's snunny out.
Ooh.
I love the snun.
Great. Good idea. There were a couple other things that happened in news this week. Pete Buttigieg got confirmed as the Secretary of Transportation, becoming the first out person to have the Senate confirm him for a cabinet position. That was really exciting. While talking about it all, Pete referenced when he was 17 and he had heard news that a Bill Clinton appointee was not given a Senate vote because he was queer.
That was a reason just to not even give the person a...
I think in true American politics and Republican fashion, it was like, that's not the reason, but what's the reason? Kind of thing. Like, there were, it was close to unanimous. There were 13 Republicans who voted against Pete for the Secretary of Transportation. And as much as like, in like the spirit of debate, I could argue why he wouldn't be the right fit for it, being that he's an incredibly intelligent person and obviously is going to do pretty great at anything he does, but you could argue that he doesn't have specific experience in regard to transportation and infrastructure and things like that. But the people who voted, every Republican who voted against him, which included Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, all voted yay to confirm Betsy DeVos for Secretary of Education. So if you're going to argue that he doesn't have qualifications, that kind of throws that out the window, and I'm going to chalk it up to either homophobia at its worst or partisanship at the best reason that you could come up with that they voted against it, which is also a really shitty reason.
That story took me on a roller coaster of emotions. I was like, you're saying something bad.
The takeaway is that this is, along with Kamala Harris becoming vice president and breaking that glass ceiling, I think it's very exciting to not. I don't want to have to talk about queer firsts anymore,
right?
Because I want them to have passed.
Right.
But those have to happen in order for them to have passed. So it's exciting.
Congratulations, Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
Oh, did you want to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
She got removed from her committee seats, which is great. Next.
Don't forget, you guys, it is Black History Month. I think that my category on Trivia Monday will have something to do with it.
Cute. I haven't gotten that far.
How was trivia last week when
Trivia
I was gone?
was fantastic. I hosted with Mackenzie Miller, who is a beloved performer in town. She was really fun.
What was her round?
Animated bands. It was really cute. So it was like questions about Josie and the Pussycats, Gem and the Holograms, like things like that. It was very cute. Powerline, which I know the staff at Bruce Clues is a big Powerline fan.
What's Oh, that's this. I was gonna say Snoopy, but it's Goofy. Goofy,
Yeah,
right?
it's the animated band from the Goofy movie from the mid-90s. If you haven't seen that movie, at least YouTube their performance. It's pretty incredible.
Okay, I will.
Oh, here it comes.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Yeah, classic 90s techno rock. It's phenomenal. I'm blown away by the vocalist. It was Jonathan, what's his name?
Tevin Campbell.
Oh,
Tevin
really?
Campbell is the vocalist.
What year was the movie?
90 something.
You sing Round and Round?
Yeah, he did sing Round and Round. I'm ready.
But
Can
he's
we
an
talk?
incredible vocalist.
Oh, yeah.
Me and my best friend Allison from high school, and she's still a very close friend today. We would drive around in my car and strain our vocal cords trying to sing along with him. So it was fun.
Yeah, he was big.
Yeah. I had a tennis question. I was bummed you weren't there.
What?
Who had more singles something titles? This Serena Williams or that Venus Williams?
This.
Yeah, I know for a tennis fanatic like you, that's obvious.
Oh, Grand Slam title?
Something like that. Basically any title. There was one thing I found that Venus had more titles in. I think it was doubles, mixed doubles or something like that.
Probably mixed, yeah.
And she had one and Serena had none,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Speaking of tennis, Monday is the start of the Australian Open.
Cute.
And people who are always like, what do you guys do in the winter? I'm like, well, for 2 weeks in the middle of February, I stay up until 4 in the morning and watch tennis on TV.
That's fun.
And I got to go 4 years ago. That was already 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I know.
I know you had big plans to go to the French Open this year, and obviously they got canceled.
Sometime in the future.
That?
Oh, yeah. So we're just going to keep talking about local news because I know that's what you guys are watching for.
Yeah.
The old Reliable Fish House, which fell into disrepair and was condemned in 2015 after a fire, has been... There's a woman, a developer, trying to bring it back, and her original proposal was a 31-room hotel with a restaurant, a parking garage, and all this stuff. And it actually got through zoning and planning that way, but then all of the abutters instigated a lawsuit against it. And so she had to go back and change her plans, and now she's proposing new plans.
She was kind of asking for exceptions.
Yes.
Like on height exceptions, things like that.
Right.
So, you know.
But I think it's incredible when you make it through, zoning and planning, those people don't just say yes to everything. So like she proposed obviously something really like well thought out and developed, but the neighbors were just like,
I do think as guest houses get bought up and turned into single family homes and stuff, I feel like on the base level, I'm like, yes, more places for tourists to stay in town. Yes, more restaurants, because I think those are the kind of the lifeblood of town.
Right.
So yes, but also I understand objections to that.
Totally. I mean, 31 rooms is kind of big.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this is the thing, is you were talking about people need to listen to their neighbors and the abutters. Remember the problem you were having in your neighborhood? She actually did.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's like, this is a success story for town,
It's about listening and compromise,
work
because that's
it
what our
out
community
with your
needs to be
neighbors.
about.
Yeah, listen to them, because it is a valid concern sometimes.
Yeah.
And obviously this time it was.
Did they make it, like, kind of just make it smaller, change concept, or?
Similar concept, less footprint.
Oh, great.
And so it has to go back to planning and zoning again. And of course, I don't understand how it couldn't get through those boards now after it got through the first time with
Right.
such a big idea.
Well, yeah.
But it can get stopped.
Right, the abutters could have made a big enough impact that
Right.
that board might not think it's
But
great.
also what I read in the paper is that if it gets stopped at one of the boards this time, she can go back to her original plan, which was technically lawful.
Because, right.
So her neighbors actually better hope that it gets through these boards.
Right, because that plan was passed and she just redid it because the abutters were upset.
Right.
She didn't have to.
Right.
Interesting. So I imagine that we'll get, I mean, as much as like I would love to tell everyone what everything should be kind of turned into, I think it's great when there are, as much as this town is overall gorgeous and beautiful and there's incredible little nooks and crannies all around town, there's also little nooks and crannies that have fallen into disrepair. I know there was another article in the Independent this week about a house in the historic district that they want to tear down because
Same developer, same exact person.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
And she said that she wanted to make that into her home. She said that it was structurally unsafe.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
I tend to agree with her just from seeing the picture of the back of the house.
But they do think that historic committee might be like, no, you have to make it work, which
They do that. They have the power to do that unless it's literally going to fall down and kill you.
if it's a safety issue.
Yeah, they can't say you can't build your house if it's going to literally kill you.
Right. So I'm all for, I think it's great when something that is like the old reliable fish house, it's right in the center of town, it's falling apart, it will become a safety issue at some point if it's not fixed, so making it usable and great and beautiful is good.
Right. And doing it in the spirit of compromise with your neighbors, love it.
Yeah.
Great.
I think it's great.
Not to be too Pollyanna-ish, but
Yeah, I don't know what side I fall on, the yay or nay, but I'm yay for compromise and working it out and talking.
fun or ick.
Fun.
I think we can divide every argument in town into fun or ick.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about her?
I do. Something really exciting happened this week. People come out every day, but I think this person coming out was really incredible. This past week, JoJo Siwa came out. I know a lot of our viewers are going to be like, who? But JoJo Siwa is a person who came to television screens on a show called Dance Moms, which has spawned a few celebrities like Maddie Ziegler, who's featured in a lot of Sia videos, and in a Sia movie that got nominated for Best Picture, that category for the Golden Globes,
Really?
controversially.
Sia made a movie?
Yeah, it's controversial. We'll talk about it later. But JoJo Siwa is another character. I want to say character because she definitely has like an over-the-top personality that is borderline character. But I think what makes her coming out so incredible is she is a 17-year-old woman who has millions of fans who are anywhere from 6 to 14, and also I would imagine some like adult men, like gay guys, love her because she's fabulous. She is known for her slick back ponytail and her over-the-top bows, but I think having her story is always love yourself, be happy, make other people happy, and I think her coming out along with her message is really incredible, and I think is going to will change the world this much, which is amazing.
If you are familiar with the pop singer JoJo, who had an album 15 years ago, and you thought, like me, this was the same person, I was like, she still looks 14.
Right.
Like, how does she still look 14? It's not the same person.
Not the same.
This is not the JoJo who sang Get Out.
Yeah.
Not her.
No. But congratulations, JoJo Siwa. We're proud of you.
Yeah, congratulations.
Come on our show if you're watching.
Debrat came out too.
That's true.
That JoJo, by the way, is still only 30.
Yeah, she had a song come out this past week.
Really?
It's really good. Yeah.
Wow.
American Blood or something like that?
I think the song is called I'm Not the JoJo That Just Came Out.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably.
That's some, probably.
Oh my God.
Oh, when are we going to show them the interview with Dougie?
Oh my God. So this past week, we got to hang out with Dougie at the West End Salon. We wanted to stop by and chat with him. He announced last week or the week before that he is looking to sell the real estate of his business and also potentially the business along with it. So we stopped by, talked with him about his sale, his beauty routine, his incredible collection of autographs. Yeah.
Dougie is a true P-Town legend. The West End Salon has been there under his care and love for 39 years. And this is what I was saying last week. I was like, how many places in town have been the same place with the same owner for 39 years in the same location?
Right.
Very, very few.
And actually, Dougie is responsible for my first ever glimpse into P-Town.
Really?
When I was probably like 15 or 16 was when he was featured on the show Tabitha Salon Takeover, which was my first like, oh, what's this place?
Really?
Yeah.
That was the first time you ever heard of Provincetown?
I guess maybe I've heard of it, but like where I'm from, it was like this crazy place where everyone's gay.
Isn't it still that?
Yeah, but I love it. But it was like, you know. But let's take it away. Chatting with Dougie.
Good morning, everybody. I'm at the West End Salon at 155 Commercial Street in Provincetown with Dougie Freeman, who's been in this location for the last 39 years. We're going to talk to Dougie in a second about life in Provincetown, how it's changed over the years, and why he picked now to sell the property. Dougie.
Hi folks, I'm Dougie Freeman. Welcome to the West End Salon and Spa. As I always like to look like I have kind of a tanned, off the beach or off the slopes look. And I've tried to achieve that look over the years in many different ways. And I finally have discovered a way in the past 10 years that I can do quickly and will give me a fabulous tan look within minutes, and I'm good to go. And then I can spend time doing my hair. It depends on my mood, what kind of hairstyle I'm going to have. But I always start out with this, which is Quick Tan, which we sell here, right here in the lovely West End Salon. So what we do is we do it like this, right across our face, in a horizontal, little circles. You don't squint. Make sure you get everything nice back and forth. It's just like painting a car. We go little circles, we go around little circles horizontally, around like that. That's it. You feel free to open your eyes at any time. Now we're going to do the arms. Little circles, little circles, little circles, little circles. I always like to do the fingers, and I like to do the knuckles. It's nice if you wear jewelry to have tanned hands, I always think, And then we come in, and then we're going to blow dry our lovely face a little bit. And then you are...
So why now? Why after 40 years are you saying goodbye to the West End Salon?
Why am I selling now? Well, I'm selling so I can pay to get my teeth fixed. No, that's one of the reasons. But I'm approaching 68 years old. I've been doing this since I was 17, doing hair since I was 17. At my age and my experience, I feel like it's time to move on, and I would like to work for a former competitor, or if I can't find someone that wants me, I will open another small place. But this real estate is very valuable, and it's a large space that I no longer need or want to use. And I have showed it several times so far to qualified buyers, and certainly if you're interested, you can reach me at the salon, and I'm happy to show you. I have no agent representing me at this time. I've had a great run, I have to say, and I want to thank everybody that has come here. And I'm not retiring. I'm just going to move down the street probably, but the place may be sold as a salon, and it may continue as the same name. Love to all of you that have made this my dream come true and have brought me to this point where now I can give up this place, hand it over to someone who can. They can do a lot with this. I did that wig for her in this picture. You know what I'm saying? I gave her a brunch in the back, on my back deck. I gave her a brunch, Hollywood line. She did perform with Ryan Landry, though, I have to say. She did perform with him. And I have to say Ryan Landry I believe he's a genius, and I think that, I've certainly followed his career. I don't have an autographed picture of Ryan Landry. I probably should. Jimmy James, I've known for probably 40 years. Jimmy James has been a client. Jimmy James has given me a lot of good advice over the years. And he's certainly fashion-forward person, a great talent, certainly a great talent. I mean, he can really sing, you know what I mean? This is the Duchess of Windsor. I know very little about this autograph. Don't even ask me why it's here. I have never done the Duchess of Windsor's hair. However, I have done royalty, so I'll get into that. I worked for an Arab prince for 7 years, Mohammed Al Saud. I used to go to his fancy condo in Cambridge. They owned all the penthouses in this complex at the Esplanade condos in Cambridge. And I would go there and I would blow dry his hair and style his hair every week. And I did that for 7 years. I also would straighten it. He was very attractive. He had a lovely wife. He looked like Prince, you know, Prince, the singer. And then the concierge says, no gum chewing, no sexy talk, no, can't smell like alcohol. You have to really be, you know, conservative, you know, and all this. So I was like, fine. And he said, I want to come out of the shower and I want to sit in this chair and I want you to do my hair. And I said, oh, you would? And he said, yes. And I said, and you'd be naked? Is that what you're telling me? And he said, yes. I said, no, I won't do that. Because I couldn't control myself. Are you kidding? But he was very generous and he paid for my trip to Morocco with my partner Jimmy, and for a 4-week vacation.
Lauren McCall.
All right, so Lauren McCall. I always liked Lauren McCall. You know, Lauren McCall, certainly a beauty. This is given to me in '87. For Doug, King of Hearts, for the King of Salons, Lauren Bacall for the West End, money-making ventures, success, power, and physical happiness, the strength over nature. P-Town, summer 1987. Let's start with lovely Leah Delaria. Oh, Leah, I've known Leah for many years. I remember Leah in Central Square in the 70s when there wasn't that many out gay people, in those days. So I'd be out there, it's a Mass Ave, in front of the post office there. And then I remember coming out on a hot summer day and seeing old Leah out there, and she was fighting with some plumber. I remember she was saying to him, "What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Ain't you ever seen tits like this before?" And she pulled her shirt up like this. Now this is this is the 70s, Central Square. And I think she saw me and she's like, "Dougie, get over here." She wanted me to get involved with it. I ran the other way. I ran down Magazine Street. Anyway, I have a lot of respect for Leah Delaria. Here we have lovely Debbie Harry right here. Debbie Harry was, I was called up by her manager and they said, "We want you to do Debbie's hair. She's performing in town." And this is when I was really starting my autograph collection and I knew she'd be a biggie. So I knew I had to really get the autograph and I had to be, all this. But I really wanted to milk this opportunity. So beforehand, I notified the Boston Globe, the New York Times, the banner, every kind of social, every kind of advertising within 100 miles that Debbie Harry was going to be at the West End Salon getting her hair done, okay? So she's in here, we're doing her hair, she gives me a nod like that. I don't remember any words really. I opened the door, and in those days you had flash bulb, you had flash. Flash, the pictures. I'm like, we're doing this like that. She turned to me and gave me the dirtiest look I ever got from anybody. Anyway, I never saw her again, but I got my autograph and that was it. And I did get a lot of publicity. We have the lovely Tabitha Coffey, yes. This woman is a world famous hairdresser and TV personality. I got a letter in the mail that said you're, one of 50 people that they're looking at from Bravo Television to do this beauty makeover show. I do it in the trash. I thought this is nothing. They got another one. I said oh please, this is it. Then my secretary said, "Oh, open it. It's from Hollywood. Open it." I opened it, and you're one of 5. So I figured, they'll never choose me. Wow, this is enough. We're up against this other salon. I only remember one of the other ones. It was Judy Jetson in Cambridge. We're up against her. I said, "Oh, Judy will get it. We'll get it." So then the tech people called me the next week and they said, you know, we're not guaranteeing that you're going to get the show, but we have to come and measure the salon, and we have to put some cameras up, and we have to, it looks very small. I don't think it's going to work. So I called and I made sure that we had shrimp cocktail and champagne for these guys. Okay. What I didn't really know, was those cameras were working. Those cameras were filming me for the next week in here, okay? And it happened to be a very interesting week. It was July. It was high season. I had a very interesting staff that year, I might say, as you can see from the TV show. And yeah, they put the cameras up, and then I got a phone call, and it's phone rings, and I answer the phone, and Tabitha says, Dougie, come outside. And there she is in the back on a platform in my backyard here with a Prada, like a Prada outfit or something with a big collar, and she's like up on the stage like a statue, like an icon. And she comes down and she says, give me your keys, I'm taking over. I came here and I worked alone in the beginning, and then I hired Michael Lucier, who worked for me for 10 years. He owns his own salon in town now, called Hair by the Sea. He's an extremely gifted entertainer and hairdresser. He was 18 when I hired him. I'm so proud that he's done as well as he has. I certainly have had many staff members that have worked for me. Jonathan Williams worked for me as a salon in town. Doug, who owns Blue Day Spa, worked for me as a massage therapist. I'm very proud of him. I'm proud of a lot of the people that have worked for me. Adam Berry, who is now, well, I'm proud of any of them that make 6 figures a year, actually. Not that money isn't everything, and I'll tell you that right now. Money is not everything, I'll tell you that right now. In fact, it's certainly been a great run of 40 years, and I've had the great opportunity of working with fabulous, talented staff. It's been a great stage for me to bring a lot of interesting people and excitement to, and street theater, and I got to have my dream. I got to realize my dream, and I got to raise holy hell, and I got to be passionate, and I got to live a fabulous life, and I have no regrets. I mean, believe me, it's been a fabulous run.
Fun.
Good luck to Dougie on his next endeavor. And if you're interested in purchasing the West End Salon, just give him a call.
You can call the salon. Dougie's representing himself at the moment and in the sale. I think one of the biggest selling features that he didn't manage to squeeze in is it is a high water use business, and water in this town is
at a premium,
a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you want to open a high water use business, which is like obviously a salon and spa, things like that.
Do you have an idea for a high water use business?
I do.
Don't say it.
I know. I'm afraid someone's going to steal my idea that I'm going to do nothing about. You know? Oh, do you want a Lady Gaga Chromatico Oreo?
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay, give me one then.
These are selling out everywhere. They are sold out at Stop and Shop as of
It's
yesterday.
like Frankenberry cereal.
Yeah. I don't understand, but I'm down, you know? As a gay person, I just had to try. I think they're like vanilla. I don't think it's about the taste. I think it's about the look.
Have you eaten some of them?
Have I eaten some of them? Have you let a box of Oreos sit on your kitchen counter for 2 days and not eaten any?
Well, you said I think they taste like. You're not sure after eating that many?
I still unsure. You let me know, Bob. What does it taste like?
Like breakfast cereal.
Yeah, it kind of does actually. Like Fruity Pebbles a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not into it?
One more thing before we get to our game of for your consideration. The Provincetown International Film Festival is doing an online auction right now to raise money. If you go to their website, you can bid on things. I'm only saying this because it ends on February 7th, and I was scrolling through some of the things that don't have any bids on them yet, and it's things like a week-long stay in an apartment on Commercial Street for $1,000, and that would normally cost like $4,000.
Yeah, totally.
So if you're watching this and you think you might want to come to town this summer, bid. raise money for the film festival. It's going to be another virtual film festival this year because
And
of
also,
COVID.
and potentially get a great deal.
Yeah, if you're one of the first people to bid on these things that don't have bids on them, that's a steal. A week in P-Town in a 2-bedroom apartment for $1,000.
That's crazy.
Unreal.
I've been in apartments where they're not very nice and they're very small, and they're like, "Oh, we had to get this one. It was such a deal. $3,000 for a week." I was like, "Pardon?"
Yeah, this one is like water views, washer dryer. It's amazing. Go support the film festival.
Washer and dryer is also a commodity in this town.
Totally.
People come over to my apartment and they're like, "Oh, a washer and dryer? Oh my God, luxury."
Oh my God.
Exactly. So we're gonna end our episode this week with another game of For Your Consideration. I am gonna do a monologue this week. Bob will be on phone duty. If you are gonna call in, the number is 617-676-7597. The name of the game is I'm gonna do a monologue from a famous movie, an iconic movie monologue, and you are gonna call in when you know the movie it's from.
Guess the movie, win a prize.
I don't think this one's gonna be hard,
You don't?
but I say that a lot.
I'm going to try to let you finish as much as you can before
It's
I
not
answer it.
super long, so I think I will. But,
Tell them the number one more time.
okay. It's 617-676-7597.
What's your frame? Are you in tight, Mark?
I am that.
Am I gorge? Great. Okay, let's go. So, okay, like the Haitians need to come to America like right now, but some people are all like, but what about the strain on our resources? And it's just like this time I threw a garden party for my dad's birthday. It was a catered event, so obviously I said RSVP on the invitation, you know? But then people came who like didn't RSVP, and I was like totally bugging. So I like hauled ass to the kitchen, reallocated some food, squeezed in some extra play settings. And
Hello, caller.
Hello,
Hi, what's your name?
this is Jake,
Jake, where are you calling us from?
Provincetown.
Jake from Provincetown. Jake from Provincetown, what is your guess?
My guess is Clueless.
yeah,
It is Clueless. Jake from Provincetown, you just won yourself a $25 gift card to the Red Inn. It's not open till the end of April, so I probably won't mail it to you until the end of March. If you've already won one and you're watching, that's happening to you too. Thank you for playing.
Yeah,
Keep
thanks
watching.
for watching, Jake.
And congratulations.
Awesome. That was fun.
Finish it.
And may I remind you, no, what did I miss? I'll just do the last line because it's great. And may I remind you, it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty. Thank you, curtsy.
Very good, Harry.
That was
Very
a fun
good.
one.
That was a fun one.
I feel
People
like the
keep
second-
suggesting fun things to us.
Great, yeah. Keep it coming. Because like I Google like movie monologues and it gives me like, oh, this one from this movie in the 50s, which is iconic. And I'm like, no. I'm like, I want Cher and Clueless and
Right.
yeah.
Very good.
I feel like the second I was like totally bugging.
I think he knew it right away. That person called instantaneously from the first
I was like, wow,
sentence.
are we on a shorter lag this week?
That's all the show that we have for you this week.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you to our sponsors, the Adam Howard Gallery and Be Well Dispensary, for supporting us and loving us always. To our cast and crew.
Yeah, thanks to Dougie. Please tune in next week. We've got a fun show for you.
Oh, it's our first Valentine's episode. Tomorrow, next week's gonna be so lovely.
Yeah. There's going to be some chocolate, and Thirsty Burlington's going to be here.
Thirsty is gonna be here, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for waking up with us.
Thanks for waking up in Provincetown, wherever you are.
That's what I meant to say.
We will see you next week.
Won't let the haters get their way. I'ma come back like a boomerang. I'ma come back like a boomerang.